this one talking Furiosa, plus Malick's To the Wonder, and Altman's Nashville.
Dude, yeah, hide those other ones.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
people
I'm
will come
pushing
to
them. I'm
Furiosa.
pushing them to the back, dude.
True.
But yeah, I did it. I went and saw Furiosa, so I figured me and Alex will probably talk about that one. I don't know if
Yeah.
you want to listen, Noah, but yeah.
No, I'll probably end up going seeing that soon.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
Wait,
choice.
there's a shitty cam version on the website. I saw
Dude, I
that
saw that
there
was
was
up.
it was on there, and I was
No
like,
way.
no way.
Not worth
Turns
it.
out
See it in a
someone.
theater. That one's definitely worth it in a theater. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Man, the camera's doing some wonky stuff tonight. I don't like it. Mine was doing some stuff. But we're here. We did it.
You made it.
Yeah. So how
starting?
should we even go about this one, boys? This one's I don't know about you. I was gonna suggest that we start doubling up on the Malicks, just to kind of get through them. What do
think-
you say?
I think it might be
Definitely.
best. I was thinking, after this one specifically, I think Malick is the most director of the director's dives that we've dove into, if that makes sense.
He's the
Like
most director.
he's like his style. After Badlands, it was like, this is what I'm doing for every movie, and you're going to sit there and enjoy it or not. I don't know.
Okay,
At this point, I'm starting to get a little bit worn down.
Yeah,
But
I feel that. You want to just to go into the Wonder?
to answer your question, I'm cool with doubling up to get through this.
Yeah, I'd be down.
That
Yeah,
would be
Get
great. I
through 'em.
mean,
it might be for
2
the
more
best.
weeks,
Yeah, just power
right?
through
4 more movies. We can just knock them out.
Okay.
Oof.
Let's move on to some brighter pastures. You know, none of these dead grass fields. Let's get into some green. You know, let's get some life.
Something. We need
Less
something.
sweeping
Something new.
scores. Less, yeah.
Less whispering, more loud. Some explosions. Do I need explosions after this? I don't know. Maybe.
Couldn't hurt.
Well, at least with this
You
one,
never
you had
heard.
some foreign language voiceover. So,
Oh, yeah.
mixing it up.
That was a difference. Yeah, there we go.
The problem with the foreign language voiceover was that Amazon, I think is what I was watching it on, it puts like speaking in whatever language over the subtitles, and I'm just like, what the? Come on now,
Like missing
work
shit.
this shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get into the X-ray or whatever on Prime, and then you start reading about the actors and the scenes, and you're just like, "Hey man, am I watching the movie anymore? Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
man.
to the Wonder, this was what 2013, pretty soon after the Tree of Life.
Yep.
Pretty similar to the Tree of Life. I mean, and all those other movies, right? I mean, like you said, I mean, he picks this style and he picks this format. It's like basically a format that he's chosen, you know, like with the
definitely.
same elements, the same VO, the same like intercutting. And I mean, I was like wondering, that's what a director does, is they choose their shit and they kind of stick with it. But this one just hurts so much more for me. I don't know.
It's almost like this is the template he chooses, and he just pastes different sort of themes into this template. But you have nothing else to judge the movie on besides his directing because it's so loud. Like, you can't say, "Oh, Ben Affleck did a great job," because he doesn't really do anything. He walks around and like
just moseys
the
around,
camera,
gives some looks.
the camera spins around him a little bit. I don't know. Like, you can't really judge anything else besides what Malick is doing in these movies because it is 100% Malick. Okay, 98% Malick, and the rest is his DPs. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I think that's what got me with this one. Is like, I understand the story he's going for, but his format just doesn't fit the themes of this one, I think, very well.
No.
It's
Tree
just,
of
yeah,
Life,
it's weird.
Went along with like the boyish wonder, and like you're growing up kind of in the 50s, and it's a different time. And this one, it's like, okay, we're following this douchebag who's cheating, and now his wife who is also cheating now.
Skinny Pete.
Skinny Pete. I wonder. Okay, I was like,
fuck?
this guy
I didn't
looks
even notice.
way too
That's
familiar.
crazy.
Yeah, Skinny Pete.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Getting
thinking
some.
back, like the New World that one's like a
Yeah.
little more like of a brighter spot in the filmography so far, and it kind of like
Mhm.
fits with his style a little more on like this
Mm.
It
outsider
does.
or
Yeah.
naturistic, stuff.
Yeah.
The like montage filmmaking at the start of this one, I was like, dude, the modern times don't fit your shit because it's just like I was watching like vacation videos, like
Right.
Mm.
I was like,
Like home videos that
yeah,
were just like burned onto
Yeah.
DVD for us.
seriously, I was like, this
It's like,
is
oh,
Yeah.
even in
parents
like the
just travel.
1950s, it works more just because it's like a different time that we don't experience or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It like fits like I don't know some nostalgia. It like
yeah,
lends itself to that more.
mhm,
Plus, he's blending like with Tree of Life. He was blending it in with like the whole, I guess, origin of species man and the development of people's instincts and what they choose to do. So like that worked in a way. This is
mhm.
just like I'm gonna make a romance, sort of, but it doesn't like you don't get a connection with these people because you're spending so much time twirling around them and just listening to their weird ass voiceovers and watching them dance and be happy. And I was watching it with Sarah, and I was like, "This is so fucking fake. Nobody does this."
Mhm.
What
Of
this is
course.
a couple that talks the least in the universe. Like
Oh my god.
you know what I mean? They don't say a single word to each other
Yeah,
half the
we
time.
never see them talk. We just see them look off in the distance and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
like in the same room
yeah,
Yeah.
when neither of them want to be there. Yeah, it's just like what
I
is
guess that's
happening?
like the art. Like, if you really like check into the art or like the artistic level that he's going for, you might like it still. But like, I guess
Yeah.
6 movies in now, it's just like you just did
Move
this
on.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, you need
I don't
something
know.
more,
Yeah,
something new. Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty much the conclusion I came to with this one. Is just like I appreciate like the ones before, but like I said, there's only one that really stands out, and that's his first movie. After Days of Heaven, he just kind of like got broken, and then he started making the same movie over and over again. And
that's
then
definitely fair.
I'm
I,
just kind of worn down at this point, you know?
yeah,
I'm kind of drifting away from the idea that this works for everything that he does, you know?
totally
maybe he
agree.
should have made less movies, and because he's really like pumping them out here in like the next
Hmm.
like 10 years or whatever. And the mystique is definitely being lost the more that he makes,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
definitely.
Uh,
Which
I
is
did have
weird
a
because
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I was just kind of I don't know. It's weird that other directors like Tarantino and Wes Anderson have a style that's
Right,
pretty versatile. Like I think
right.
Malick's technically sound, obviously, in a lot of ways, but I don't know. It just
I, th-
becomes boring.
I think with those guys that you mentioned, their writing is just more lively and like their
Yeah,
characters you can connect with, I guess.
yeah.
You can't connect with any Malick characters, at least in my opinion. Like maybe a couple in his earlier movies, but now recently it's like I didn't know these people. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know. I couldn't
I wish I
I
had a
couldn't
I mean, you
hot
can
French wife, but
what the success of like Malik to me is like you can kind of feel a lot when you're like watching it because like I understand who they are pretty easily,
yeah.
but do I care or do I connect? No, but like
Right.
I feel like this movie like showcased humanity in a relationship in a somewhat like vaguely interesting way. It's
Hmm.
just like the elements or like the structure to get to the payoff, or if there is any payoff, I guess they're like done at the end and they divorce or whatever. But like it's just not a satisfying journey. Like with Tarantino, you're led along
Right.
the way and like beats that fucking are perfectly like chiseled
Yeah.
to like hit, and Wes Anderson too. Like
character moments. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
this one's just like a one grating feeling the whole
To
Right.
movie.
that
So
eventual character moment, which is either
yeah,
impactful or not. So
right.
Yeah. And it felt like he forgets about some of his characters. Like the priest character just felt like kind of like a side journey that he just wanted to be
yeah,
like,
Yeah,
here's a little bit of faith that humanity has, but it's kind of cast to the side. So I don't know. I
it's like
some
supposed to be this
things the
guiding
choices
force.
he yeah the choices he's making with he's clearly still editing all of his movies, but like the choices he's making to like cut parts to where it's just I don't know. There's some disconnect in there.
yeah.
For
I wonder
sure.
like what he thinks he's saying at the end of the day when he like is like that's the final cut. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really don't know if he knows. I guess I remember a week ago or so, like you can kind of feel like him struggling to make a movie, as whereas
Mhm.
like other filmmakers are more like apt to like perform. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just too in his head when he cuts, like you're saying, and it's just like
Yeah. Or they
he
just have a
loses it.
more fleshed out vision beforehand, you know, where he's
Yeah,
not planning in maybe as much as he should.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I read a little bit up on it, and I think like there's improvisation obviously in this movie where they're just chatting,
Yeah,
and he's just
Yeah.
like capturing moments and stuff like that. I
yeah.
mean,
It
what is
I
the
think that
script then?
works for a little bit, but
Right.
yeah, eventually it just becomes meandering.
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's so interesting how he can be so like he has a script and he has this idea to start with, and it turns into once it hits the editing floor, it's just kind of like what happened. But then you get like what else we're talking about today, which is going to be Fury Road eventually. But like that was all storyboards. Like, and look how that turned out. Like it's
Yeah.
possible with the right creative mind behind it, who has like an actual vision. It just feels like Malick. He sees like miles of film that he took, and he's like, "Well, shit, boys. Guess we better start picking up some stuff." I don't know. It just
Yeah,
feels like
This
he
one
just
did.
picks random scenes, and he's like, "This is a good shot.
it
Let's put a
seems all right.
voiceover."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, there's no.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like there's a vision at the end of the day. There's no
yeah,
like concrete idea besides what he wants, the themes he wants to get across.
yeah. It's like he
Hmm.
has the basic themes and the basic story, but it's like, how are we gonna get there? Did we get there in a
Yeah,
satisfying way?
Did we feel good about it?
Not. Yeah,
yeah.
Like I thought like Rachel McAdams injected some life into the story and then she's just gone in like 10 minutes and then you never
Yep.
see her
yeah.
again and they never
Just
Which is
reference like
crazy because it's like that whole. It's like she cheats on him, and then he finds out and gets all like pissed off, and his cheating had like there was no mention of it. Like there was
yeah.
no consequences or whatever. And yeah, I was
But we
just like,
got a
what?
moment with him smashing a mirror on a
Yeah,
vehicle.
yeah.
So we felt something. Yeah.
I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know. I probably felt bad for cheating.
Yeah, like
I
when
don't
the
know.
first person, when the first lover came back, it just like sucked a lot of energy out of the movie. Where I was like, "Do we like where is this going?" Like I understand like relationships
Yeah,
aren't like in built into like a
yeah.
story structure, but like I'm watching a movie. I don't know.
Right. No, yeah, definitely. And when you're watching a movie, it needs to, especially if it's a romance, like it has the beats, but you gotta take us there. Take us on this journey that makes more sense.
yeah,
I don't
and
know.
even like a little comedy injected in here, I think would like lift this movie up so much more. Just like a little breather,
Right?
like a little. Uh,
Yeah, it's just like
yeah,
very
the fog.
thoughtful VO whisper VO that never
Yeah.
can get to like a chuckle, you know, because
Yeah,
because
yeah,
then you've
yeah,
broken the tone.
yeah.
Yeah.
And which itself becomes pretty funny because you're like, oh, more whispers, more inner
Yeah,
thoughts. All right.
Some of the lines that they do in the voiceover too just seem like so, I don't know. I don't know if they make sense all the
Eddie.
Like
time.
Yeah.
afterthoughts. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Just like, okay, that sounded cool, I guess, but what does it
Like,
mean?
why did
Oh, it's
we put
poetic,
them?
man. It's art. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
It
will say
sounded
that
cool when I wrote it.
what I gained from this watch of this movie is like there's a certain effectiveness to the way he cuts just a person walking to a place or whatever, like with Ben Affleck walking up to the fence and talking to the
Mhm.
guy. Like you start back here and then you just like cut 10 feet away and then you cut to the fence. That's kind of like a Malick staple where he just is like chopping through time and
Yeah,
then like moving on. And there's a certain effectiveness to that technique, I'd say, of like just moving the plot along in an interesting way, I
yeah,
guess, or like the
definitely.
Okay.
pace.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this one too is it's kind of funny. It's like a little bit structurally similar to like Gone Girl, which Ben Affleck does the next
But
year.
same shot. Is it the same shot
What
where
shot
he's
is
at the
that?
bottom of the stairs and she's at the top of the stairs? Isn't that at the
Oh,
end of Gone Girl?
Oh,
I didn't even notice that one. It might be. Yeah.
that
I
shot did
thought
stand
when
out. Yeah.
when I saw that shot, I thought to myself,
Hmm.
did David Fincher watch this movie and said,
Uh,
"I'm gonna put that in this"? I don't
yeah.
know.
Huh.
I could be wrong, but it felt like deja vu, and I immediately thought Gone Girl
I
because
mean, I felt it too, just in the story, like with Ben
yeah.
Affleck, like
Yeah.
schmoozing somebody, bringing him home to rural
Okay, I
Oklahoma
thought
or
I was the
whatever,
only
and
one.
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, definitely different filmmakers, vastly
Yeah.
different filmmakers,
Oh
but
yeah, absolutely.
Just be glad Fincher took some shot inspiration and not
Just
voiceover inspiration.
yeah.
Well, there's a lot of voiceover in
There's
Gone Girl,
VO,
but
but it's low and you hear it.
yeah,
It's impactful.
and it
constant
makes narrative sense most of the time. So
Yeah, it's baked in.
shit.
Yeah. I did have one question though, because to me, like the Tree of Life is still one of the tops I've seen of his. I'm toying around with some ideas, but do you think basically the Tree of Life is the Brad Pitt story is like basically this type of movie, that we just
Mhm.
watched, and then there's
Yeah.
the absolute batshit cosmic shit. Do you think that cosmic shit would have fit into like one of his other movies better, and to like display the themes of like the cosmic grand or like conflict of the
Well,
world, than
doesn't
the
he
Tree
have
of Life
this one
too,
movie
like
coming up too, where it's like,
the Voyage of Time.
oh, yeah, The Voyage of Time.
Yeah, I assume it's like an
Mm,
extension of that idea for him, where it's like, no, I'm
he
just gonna do
claims
it
it's not
fully.
connected, but I feel like it has to be in some way. I
I guess
mean,
we'll see.
yeah,
But do you think like thematically it would be a better, like he could put it into one of his other movies and it'd be better than the Tree of Life fitting there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I think it works for Tree of Life. For some reason, my mind immediately goes to Thin Red Line
that's what I was thinking.
because it's like, oh, you're in this conflict. This, in the grand scheme of
yeah,
things, this kind of tiny conflict
Hmm.
that is huge to everyone involved.
Yeah,
Dramatic and
and he's
all
talking
that.
about like beauty in the universe and how it's like got this
Yeah,
duality and stuff, right?
yeah.
Like you
right.
That's
get a little
interesting.
bit of the romance and stuff. That's the only one that really like I kind of locked onto is like that would work actually, because the
Yeah,
other ones also just feel like they would just have kind of what the Tree of Life is, which is just like stamped into the movie, where it's
Yeah,
basically a different movie or whatever. But like,
yeah. I mean, if this one had it, I'd just be like, all right, this
all
guy's
right,
turning into a bit of a hack. Like, what are we just
yeah,
this
throwing
guy's
space
crazy.
shit? Yeah, for real. Like, telling the same story every time. Okay, like that. At that point, the themes wouldn't even matter to me. I'd be like, all right, whatever themes you're going in here, just to get some space shit in there.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the Thin Red Line that might be a cool movie, honestly, if it was that way.
yeah,
But
yeah. I like that.
It's
I think most
interesting to
horror
think
movies
about.
have
Yeah,
that.
mm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give this one 3 stars. I
that's what I gave it as well. One,
Same,
think. Yeah.
same.
three.
It like I
Yeah.
hate to like say like it's not a great movie, but like you do like at least still feel things when you watch a Malick movie, whereas like other movies I watch, I feel nothing. So it's like,
Yeah, that's the problem. Like they aren't like ones that'll be like, I'm gonna put this on, but at the same time, it's like it's not a horrible, horrible experience like
yeah,
the
Yeah.
one we're gonna talk about next, in my opinion. But
yeah.
I just, yeah, I don't know.
Well, let's get
All
into
right.
it then. This was my pick, boys, and I'm sorry.
What
No, it's all
not to
I
good.
do with 2 hours and 40 minutes of your time?
True.
okay, okay,
18
Nashville.
musical numbers packed into that. Yeah, yeah.
You
yeah,
take
that's
out
fair.
all the musical numbers, you have a fucking 80-minute movie, goddammit.
It's true.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
true.
not as
Holy.
good,
Is it
right?
though? Does it
Yeah.
enhance the
Right.
movie?
Do we need to hear yodeling every 10 minutes?
Fuck.
Dude, I
Anyways,
mean, I bought into the hype. Like this, I hear so much. I hear like Nashville, Robert Altman, Nashville. Right, it's the
Oscar
best
winner.
movie,
Yeah,
best movie in the '70s. And like to be quite honest, who put me over the edge, and I was like, okay, I need to check it out. Was Paul Thomas Anderson, the man? Like you,
What?
man.
that's yeah,
He
man.
touted this.
I mean, you can feel Magnolia when you watch this, right? I mean, like it feels like that attempt,
Magnolia
right?
had a purpose though. This is
Uh,
just meandering and a lot of ad lib stuff, and they have just the actors just saying random bullshit with nothing happening on
yeah.
screen, and then someone sings, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I
I
read this. I read this synopsis, and I was like, 24 characters intersecting a lot. Like this should be interesting. But yeah, none of those
yeah.
characters' interactions really have a whole lot of fucking impact on each other. Like they have a little bit, but
I was hoping
my
for more
god.
impact in the
uh,
story and the characters too. I mean,
I
yeah,
when you
was
hear
oh
it's a widespread story like that, you want it to kind of tailor together somewhere, but it doesn't.
right.
yeah, to
That's
have
what I was
purpose, to
expecting.
have a reason like why I'm with each one of these
Yeah,
characters, and I don't like any of them, but come on, there's got to be a reason why. we're sticking around for 2 hours and 40
Well,
minutes,
let
right?
me try to give you just a little bit of the reasons why I didn't find it so offensive. And it was like I was reaching for like other things of like
Yeah.
that I
Okay.
love. I mean, Magnolia was one I was like, okay, I see what PTA was doing with Magnolia. You know, like a little
Okay.
bit. And maybe it's just because I watch these specific things, but The Wire, I'm like, this is Nashville, and it's trying to show you all the different sides of Nashville in one or the few days or
Yeah.
whatever, and all these
Yeah.
different
Right.
characters. And then Dazed and Confused, like it's got this like slice of life feel where you're just following events and people.
But
Yeah.
It's
the
not as
difference is
interesting.
the difference is with Dazed and Confused, with The Wire, with Magnolia, you have characters you care about. And, like, you
Yeah.
spend enough time with each character, like, there might be a sprawl like Dazed and Confused, there's a bunch of characters, and it just bounces all over the place. But at least you get a taste of what each character is, and you warm up to them in some fashion. This one, I don't know, they're all scumbags, they're all I don't know. The most time we spend with somebody throughout the movie is the fucking chanting van that goes around for the one guy, Philip, whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
Walker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The politician. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it was 2 hours and 40 minutes. I kind of get what it was going for. You know, it's going for like the political climate in the 70s at the time, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's going for like, I don't know, the sensationalism of Nashville, of like people, singers in Nashville, obviously, like trying to, make it. Um, it was just too many fucking musical numbers, too long.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, like the
a little
caveat,
heavy-handed, I guess.
I mean, I understand all the gripes because like that's very inaccessible as far as like the characters go. You want to be able to dig into them more and like get to know them more. And
Yeah,
like you have to if you ever recommend this movie to anyone, you have to caveat it with like are you okay with country music? You know, like cuz if you're not, if you're fucked.
sure.
You're done. Like in
Yeah,
like 5 to 10 minutes.
you're checked out after I
Yeah.
was after like the fourth or fifth musical number. I was like, I don't need to hear anymore of
Well,
this.
I realized that they're going to just play them in full. Like and that's what the movie is. And
Mhm.
like I was like why would you do that?
Every single
Um
one of them.
yeah. But then I was like
One of them was 5 minutes long.
yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah. No, it gets there. I mean,
The one
you
that
feel
got
it.
me though was the one where it's was it Barbara Jean, the girl who like faints at the near the
Yeah, when
beginning?
she's like bombing on the stage.
Yeah, she's just kind of like rambling on stage.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was
all right,
great,
that was kind of funny.
right?
Uh,
There's
that
some
that made me
moments.
chuckle. Yeah, they're there, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Did I miss something? Why did that guy shoot her? Like,
I think it was just
yeah,
pull it. Like he's just. I kind of felt it was like a John Lennon type. Get trying to like attempt
okay.
something like
I
that,
figured it
but
was
oh,
something
okay,
something like that that I was just missing. I just
yeah,
yeah,
figured maybe he has some motive that I missed
yeah. No, I mean the
amongst this.
payoff at the
yeah,
end at that moment, it's shocking, but it was like it didn't sell the movie in any way to me. You know, like
Yeah,
it
the
yeah,
only
didn't.
thing
But
it kind of like got across was like, oh, it doesn't matter in the midst of this tragedy. Let's just still put on a
just
happy
keep
face
singing.
and
yeah.
yeah, keep saying.
And then the chick who
That's
was
crazy.
like nobody knew started singing at the end. So I guess that's the payoff you're looking for, where it's like this up
Yeah,
and comer is getting her moment, kind of, you know?
preying on the downfall, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. The
jeez.
one star dies and she picks up the mantle.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I guess like the way I bought it, or where I was like, fine, you know, like I'm not gonna just say this movie is terrible and it's boring, which it's not
It's
entertaining.
pretty cheeks.
Well, yeah, it's not great. But like in Nashville, when you're in like on a vacation, you're at this tourist place, you sit and watch some live music. You sit and you watch the whole song and you listen to the whole song and you feel the whole song and you don't like get to cut away to like because you're in this live experience. And that's what Nashville is, I assume, in the 70s and 75 or whatever. So it's like Robert Altman is making you feel what it's actually like to be in Nashville. And he's like, and
Sure.
you don't
Yeah.
get to get away and you don't get to like just see this little montage or the best moments of the song. You get to sit in the Grand Ole Opry or whatever and like be a
Yeah.
part of the audience, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It captures that for sure.
Whether you want to be a part of any of these audiences though, that's a
Right.
tough sell, you
That's
know?
up to you. That's a matter of taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I will say that was like something I picked up on, especially when they were in that like first amphitheater and Barberdine's kind of bombing. It's like, okay, he's trying to make you like feel what it's like to be in an audience, and you can either I don't know that scene. I was like, oh man, for me it made me hate the audience because it's like, oh, these guys like
They're like
you know
turning on her.
yeah, her husband, he was like, you have no sympathy. Like this lady was just out of the hospital. And it's like that's true. The mob mentality is
Yeah.
alive there, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, when they show shots of the crowd, it's like half interested, half people that are just like sitting there, like,
Talking.
yeah, yeah,
yeah, or like
yeah,
Yeah.
not
yeah,
interested. So it's like I think it's like a little bit more clever than like what the movie's displaying to you on like face value. But
Yeah.
like, I'd never be able to recommend this movie to like anyone because just the sheer experience of it did not land in the way it was
Yeah. Definitely.
intending for me. But like, I respect it in a way. I think I'm just giving it some credit though too. So.
Yeah.
be
I
nice.
uh I don't think I'm gonna give it any credit. I don't think it accomplished anything. Besides, I mean, what you said makes sense where you're experiencing Nashville and that's what you're doing.
Mhm.
But shit, if I wanted to experience Nashville, I'll go to Nashville. I won't go to Nashville in the 70s because if it's that fucking weird and boring, I'm not interested. I have been to Nashville and it was a lot of traffic and construction. So,
City living,
um,
baby. Yeah, that's why you
anyway,
get to live in the '70s movie where things were
yeah.
better.
Where a car accident on the road, people just get out of their cars, crack a beer, and
Yeah.
drink,
Yeah,
Right.
chat.
Yeah. And sing a song later.
Yeah,
don't sound too
I don't
bad.
know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, like, I mean, the extended sequences of songs obviously harsh, but the overlaying of like the sound design in this is like also very intense and can push like the audience away. I'd say because
Mhm.
like you just hear voices at this almost the same level
Everywhere.
and they're
Yeah,
everywhere, and it's like that's kind of what life is or whatever. But like it's like it's like hard to like get into the movie because it's like you don't know who the fuck you're following.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
It like makes you anxious, but not the kind of anxious you want to
kind of.
be. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
makes
yeah,
you
It
just
kind of
want to
makes you
scream.
stressed. Yeah, like
uh,
so
yeah. There were moments to where I don't know the sound. I would just like notice it seemed almost desynced, where it was like a bit off to like
yeah.
maybe some of the rhythms of it. Yeah, I was just like,
Mm,
like crowds clapping or like moving on like this.
for
They're like
sure.
off slightly. Yeah,
Mm, I
maybe
could
that's
see
just
that.
people's lack of rhythm, but yeah, I don't
I
know.
could see them being like, well, we need to like up the energy here, and we didn't really get that in the
Yeah,
Yeah,
claps or whatever. Fuck.
yeah,
Yeah, I thought like sparsely there were pretty good like moments and like character moments and story moments. Like a lot of like chaotic situations like cut at a pretty funny line or time to the next story. Whether the story like picks it up and moves, that usually doesn't happen. But like, there's like a lady yelling it was a hit in the vehicle. That moment cut to like a decent moment. Um, the my favorite moment in the movie, I think, is Lily Tomlin. They're at like this, they're outdoors thing or whatever, and she's talking about how like people came to the hospital and they were all paralyzed from the waist down and they were like the
oh
cutest boys
yeah,
you ever did see or some shit like that. And then
yeah,
she's talking about like the eye that's bleeding and she's like, we still don't know what's going to come of it or whatever the fuck she says. Like
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
that shit, like there's little moments there that are like, that's a juicy character moment and I love it. But
Mhm.
like, I wanted more. I wanted a lot more, but
yeah.
there's some there.
Yeah, it's just they're just few and far between for the length of the film.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's also nice to see some really, really early performances like Shelley Duvall, even though she's
yeah.
basically inconsequential in the
Do you know
end, or
she's
like
from California?
the
Which isn't Nashville, but she's from California because they tell you that
actually,
69
Yeah,
times in
yeah,
this movie.
yeah. For
yeah,
She's
real.
from California. Don't mind
yeah,
her. She's from California.
right. But a
Yeah.
little bit of Jeff Goldblum in the
Mm.
background there, sneaking
Tricycle
in.
ring motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I could
Scott
give me one of
Glenn,
those.
kind of unrecognizable. Scott Glenn, and then Elliot Gould playing himself. He's
Yep,
playing
I
Mhm.
saw
like
that.
that's I don't know. It's fucking weird, but it's fun to like be able to witness the history of it. I guess.
Yeah.
I liked that one lady's passionate speech about Kennedy. She was
Yeah.
really passionate
All right.
about Johnny Boy.
I will say
Yeah.
the British reporter I think was one of the main offenders of like I don't want to spend time in this
Oh
story,
my
you
God.
know,
Yeah, I agree.
because also it's like very outside of what Nashville is, so it's like not even really
Yeah.
necessary in a way. But
She's so out of touch every time, which I guess, yeah, that's her character. That's what she's supposed to be, but it was just annoying.
yeah, very
I don't
annoying.
know.
She's asking like the most basic ass questions that
Yeah.
you could ever ask. It's like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I just wanted more of like a narrative through line of some
That's all I
right?
would need to make it like get to that point where I was like, this was a successful journey at least. But there was no like you said, there's no through line. There's no
Yeah.
connection besides all these people live in fucking Nashville. That's the only connection.
The only one that I could see is like the political show at the end. They somewhat thread that to be like this
Yeah.
climactic scene that they're getting to, but like not
Yeah.
every character's there, and like you expect like, and I don't know, maybe it's just like an overwriter sense nowadays where you're too meta about it, but like I would expect in this story every character to be in the show at the end in some way,
Yeah.
and like where
Right.
we see every character, like.
There.
But I guess
Yeah.
that's like too much writing, or I don't know, too much not realistic, or I don't know.
Not enough
Yeah.
of a character through lines to make it work
Right? Yeah, it's too hard to make it
for the
work.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. Vantage Point did it. Damn it, we can do this.
True.
Fuck yeah.
I'm torn. I kind of want to give it 3.5, but the
God
talking,
damn.
I mean, dude, did you look at the letterboxd reviews? It's
Yeah,
insane.
the
People.
first review is this would be the movie I'd want to show aliens. What? So they fucking flee? They don't
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
over our
that's not a
planet?
good plan.
No.
You don't want to bombard them with 40 country songs. Are you insane?
No,
It's
they'll
not culture.
leave. So maybe that is a good defensive weapon if aliens do come.
Yeah,
Just
push
pop
them
in
away.
Nashville for them.
Yeah.
Don't want to
Yeah,
fuck with
no,
us.
Melt their brains.
I don't understand. I had to sort my worst reviews first just to make sure I wasn't crazy. To start reading some bad reviews because
Yeah,
I thought I was going crazy. I couldn't find anything lower than a 4 star. And I'm like,
That's
am I
crazy.
missing something here?
Yeah. No, that's people sucking the Criterion Collection and Cinephile thing right there. If you ask me.
yeah. I mean, I'm curious for more Altman stuff because apparently he's got some other good movies,
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
I'm interested. I just feel like if that one's considered a comedy, and most of his movies are considered comedies, I
not great
worry.
chuckles.
Yeah,
Not
no,
as dry
definitely not.
as the Nashville climate, baby. But
Uh,
Yeah, no, 2 stars for me. Not successful, but I'll give two
that's
stars for
fair.
shit. I don't know. That's two
Yeah,
stars. It
yeah.
accomplished. It was a
a good
movie.
movie. Yeah. Yeah, I ended on 3, but I walked between 2.5 and 3.
Fair
Yeah, it's a
enough.
movie.
Sorry, boys.
It was
I was wanting great
definitely a
things,
big
but
swing.
yeah,
Definitely a big
Bound.
swing.
Yeah, bound to be some stinkers.
yeah. It's just a bummer, man. You hear the hype, you buy into
Oh
it,
yeah.
and
Oh
like
yeah.
then you sit there and it's like 30 minutes in, and you're like, you know what this movie's gonna be, and you're like, I
Yep.
don't know if I can
And you're
ever
sitting there
reach to the
hoping,
five
just
star dream that I had. Like
yeah.
I just like it's not happening, so it's like just
Yeah,
sad.
Like, give me something. Give me a reason.
Yeah, please, like, come on, like, dig me out of the hole, dude. Like, please. But
Shit.
who's is it? Noah? Is your pick next? What's the?
oh shit, man, I
It
didn't really
is.
have one in mind.
I mean, we don't have to hear it. Just give us the pick when you
Yeah,
got it. Right?
all right, I'll throw it in Discord or text y'all.
Yeah, something good, something juicy.
All
Yeah,
right,
please.
will do. Some a little
Yeah,
loaded.
before we move on, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Try to keep it. I don't know. After my last pick, Top Secret, I'll try and keep it. I thought that was a pretty good pick, so I'll try and live up to that.
Oh, did I lose my camera?
Oh yeah, Frozen.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, I mean that's a fun pick.
Yeah.
Oh. Is it good? I don't want to move to my camera's. Oh no, it's been messing up, dude. I think my webcam is on its last life or something. What the fuck, dude?
Oh boy.
Keeps wanting me to switch my device. I don't want to switch. Stop making me. Be very still. Oh no.
Fucked it all up.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing? Don't be messing with the cables.
Oh, there.
That's the biggest thing to like teach the cat. Yeah. And I get it, because like they look like toys a lot of the time. You know, they're like little dangling toys for them. But yeah, my camera's fucking up. I might have to do the rest of this with no camera, but I guess we'll find out. It's working at this moment.
Don't move, don't breathe.
Don't breathe in.
Yeah, I'm trying to get myself into like a good thumbnail position so that when it does freeze, you'll have an expressive face of like, well, you know, at least it looks like he's saying something. You know?
Yeah. Smart.
But now it's not doing anything, so I look dumb.
We understand.
Yeah,
no,
that was the
I
attempt.
think you look philosophical, man. I think you look.
Yeah, I just need to like be in thought position, like.
There you go.
You
could always just put the green block up there on the
right. Well, I guess you want to be around for the Furiosa chat, or
no, I don't want to. That's what I'm going to see soon, so I don't want to spoil.
Did you want to talk about anything before you go, or are you all good? Talk next week.
I could just vent a little bit on Da Vinci Code. That shit sucked, man. Tom Hanks, I think, was grossly miscast for it. No. It overlooks.
Oh, Tommy boy.
Oh yeah.
You speaking ill of the Tomster?
Oh, I will. Fucking. Damn. Just like the most milquetoast performance, like no.
Fuck yeah.
No tie to like the character of the book.
That's him. That's Tommy.
Yeah, for real. It became more apparent after watching that for sure.
He was decent in The Green Mile. I watched that one recently for the first time.
Yes,
it was a pretty good character for him.
That's good. That's a good one. That and,
he's supposed to be like some investigative scholar, right, in the Da Vinci Code or something, or like what?
Yeah, he's a professor of like symbolism and religious studies, and but his only character like development or arc is that he's claustrophobic. That's like the only is like scared of tight spaces.
Does he get freaking out into a box?
He has to go into an elevator.
Yes.
That's a tight space for him.
Jeez. That's tense.
That's
what
like
a pussy.
Right?
That's the only conflict in Da Vinci Code.
It is, which is it's horrible because it's like such a riveting book. It's a page turner book.
Yeah.
But none of that comes through in like the things they're discovering, the clues that are unveiling. Like National Treasure is a better execution
historical
of that
mystery.
Yeah. Even though the book is like supposedly historically accurate, you know, it just like glazes over all that. It doesn't really give a shit about any of that. It feels like.
Is it like globetrotting? Like
a little
when I watch this movie, is it like London?
Yeah.
Fucking France.
It's like start in France, go to London, end up back in France. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah. So, it made me want to give it like
the next books.
I thought about it because they follow the same character.
3, right?
Yeah, there's like Inferno and Angels and Demons, I think, are the next two.
I think they made the movies too. If you could suffer
through
them.
Same director.
Yeah, Ron Howard,
So,
right?
yeah,
Talk about milk toast.
for real,
Ron Howard.
for real.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
makes
so
some good
I
movies,
don't know.
but he makes very mid movies otherwise.
Yeah, I'll stick to the books. I don't think I have the fucking gumption to
Yeah,
go through those movies, those type of if they're all gonna be like that.
yeah,
So,
that's
but no,
You'll
other
never
than
know
that,
until you watch them.
I
fair.
feel
It's
like I can
surprising.
draw inferences.
Yeah, there's
I think I
only so
can.
far they can go from that first one now.
Yeah, and I feel like it's only gonna be downhill because it was so bad. You're starting low.
Yeah, where can you really
I
get to?
I don't really expect you to go higher. Yeah,
Yeah,
but no, that was my. So I think that's pretty much all I've been watching recently. Probably start The
nice.
Wire soonish. Eventually, start The Wire.
Don't say it if you're not going to do it.
I'm
It's
gonna
Okay.
true.
do it.
I
Eventually,
actually
I
just
will get to it.
recently restarted it, and it's great still. So.
It's
All
so
right,
good.
maybe I'll
I
start
got
it
to take
next
a
week.
break. I did have an urge to watch it again, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want to burn it
Yeah,
out.
we'll let it breathe.
Yeah, give it some time.
Yeah. No, other than that, I haven't been watching much or keeping up on Welcome to Wrexham. That's about it.
Yeah, me too. I've decided I'm
Fun.
actually gonna follow the next season. I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch it
nice.
live.
I was thinking about like getting a jersey or a scarf or something just to
Yeah.
have.
I think you can
Cool.
spend like 150 to $200 for like whatever streaming thing that plays those matches, and you just get to watch every match. So you
It's
know
kind of
what?
nice.
I was thinking about it too. I mean, obviously their goal is for Premiere. Whether they can get there or not, that'll be interesting to see. But like,
Yeah.
and I was like trying to overcome my bandwagonness of it all, where I'm
That
like,
was like my issue too. I was like, well, I don't want to just hop on the fucking
yeah.
train.
But then I was thinking about it more and justifying it to myself. And I was like, dude, people hop on like every soccer bandwagon at some point in their life. Like especially Americans where you don't have any connection to those teams and your best friend was like, I'm a Liverpool fan. You're like, Me too.
Cool.
Like
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
or like your dad did it or something. So it's like my emotional in is like welcome to Wrexham and I have like a
yeah.
connection to this team and like that's the way I got into it, and I should be like, well, I might as well
Yeah,
embrace that, like
I'd say that's good enough. That's
yeah,
better reason than like you said, most other people.
yeah, you just become diehard somehow because you said it
Yeah,
one day, and then you
yeah.
obviously might like it or whatever, but like
You hate the other team, their rival team, because it's the thing
that
to
your dad
do.
told you to do, yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's, I
There,
mean, it'll be cool.
there's only one sports fan that I know personally that I could say is like 100% genuine, a Cubs fan. Like normally I would think, oh, he's a Cubs fan because of the World Series. No, he wears a Cubs shirt every day underneath his nice shirts when he goes to work and things like that. He's been wearing it for like 15 plus years. He
Yeah,
said he's going to stop when they win the World Series. They won the World Series and he's still going.
wow,
Shit. He hasn't
Yeah.
watched that no.
that's crazy.
For fucking yeah.
I mean,
And
there's definitely
That's
diehard
dedication.
fans. I wouldn't say I'm
yeah.
those, but like I've enjoyed more than just like the when I watch Welcome to Wrexham, I like enjoy the clips more than most of the show. So I just want to like
Yeah.
invest in the games more, which I feel like I'm already doing. So it's like
Dude, I
Yeah.
it's
will
cool.
say for me personally too, watching a soccer game is one of the more like emotionally invested sports
Yeah.
that you because it's like you feel the highs and
Uh,
lows of
mhm.
those games.
Yeah,
Kind of similar to hockey, where it's like you can feel momentum shifting and stuff like that.
for sure.
So
I'm excited
like,
to get into it, honestly, and just like I think it's like every Saturday, so it's like nice little like rhythm for the week to like check out the game on Saturday or whatever. So
yeah,
yeah,
man,
if you ever want to watch it, come on over.
I'll swing
Yeah,
by watching football.
should be cool. I mean, they moved up. Spoilers: they move up into League One, I think it is, or League Two, League One. I don't know, whichever.
One of those, yeah.
They're gonna be aiming for the championship league,
Yeah, that's the league
I think.
under Premier.
Yeah, but they're trying to like rebuild the cop or whatever, which is
Yeah,
cool. Like that stuff interests me too, where it's like the logistics of the club,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's pretty
The
cool.
money behind it, stuff. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Interesting stuff. Cool. I'm glad you're getting into it because yeah, maybe it'll give me an excuse, like I said, to buy a scarf or something and just be like,
Toss it
I like
on.
this team too. I don't
Yeah,
think there's a bad thing. Like I've always been like a Man U fan, but mostly because of like the history, and it was one of
yeah,
the first teams I remember watching. So I was like,
right. For
This will be
sure.
my team. Fuck it.
What
Yeah.
what motivates me too to like hop on this team, I guess, is like the underdog story of
Yeah.
like because if this team becomes like a Premier League team, it's like one of the most underdog stories of any sports team in history almost, where
Oh
it's
yeah.
like started from the bottom and went to the fucking top. And that's just insane to be like
It's awesome.
it's a part of history for sure at that point. Like
Right. Right. Yeah. To be able to experience it and be like, yeah, I was there.
yeah,
I'm a fan.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just cool.
For sure.
Show's
For
great too.
sure.
It's already made me cry this season, so it just fucking
It's
gets
done
you.
that every season for me, man.
Same.
It's like made me tear up every season. I'm like, oh shit.
I was thinking about when
Real.
Letterbox gets their TV shows, which apparently they've pushed back the date. They said they're
Oh,
not
damn.
in for 2024 or whatever. But Welcome to Wrexham, that's a 5-star TV show, man.
I agree.
It's crazy. It's just
I
so
agree.
good.
It's too real. You can't, make that shit up. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
straight up.
Awesome. Well,
All
yeah.
right,
I mean, I'll let you guys talk of the new thing.
cool. Good
Got your
talking,
hair.
man. Let us
Yeah.
know what you end up picking for next week.
Yeah, we'll do. I'll shoot you all a text.
Sweet.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Later, man.
Later. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to just talk Furiosa and like go through how we rank the Mad Max?
Sure. Yeah, I'm down for that. I
So what
guess,
did you think?
yeah. Just a little bit. I mean, we all have the same background, I think, for Mad Max nowadays, where it's like Fury Road, sick as fuck, and then you watch the other ones, and you're like, yeah, those are good, they're fine,
Yeah.
But Furiosa, I had a great time. It was one of the better movie experiences of the year for me so far. I dare say it surpassed Dune as far as
Oh,
like immersive
it blew Dune out of the
storytelling.
water, in my
You think
opinion.
so? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like hard. It happened with the first Dune too, where it's like that's a great movie, that's pretty good, and then like you get months away from it, and you're like, it's kind of. I hate to use the word sterile because it's
I know
often
exactly what
used,
you're saying.
but it's
Yeah.
like it's just kind of like bare bonesy in ways that like when you watch Furiosa, you're like, that's a dude who doesn't give a shit and he's going for it, and he doesn't have like this formalism at all that is like dragging down some other stories, and it
And
was fun.
what's so great about this one, in both of them, Fury Road, this one, all the Mad Maxes really, but like everything that he creates, these crazy characters that dress this crazy way and these crazy machines, they all feel like they're made in like a hot box, but then it's not just a thing where it's like, that's cool, but it doesn't belong here. These feel like they belong in the world. So like
Hmm.
everything works. I don't know. It's such a
And
rich world that he created.
it is. And with Furiosa, I feel like it's like the deepest like exploration
Oh,
of the
yeah.
lore and the world, and I was on board for it. I think more so than some other people might be, because I rewatched Fury Road and I was like, great movie. It didn't like elevate to like what I was hoping again, because it was like kind of longer than I remember, or I don't know. Basically, what I'm saying is like Furiosa and Fury Road are almost like neck and neck for me as far as like I like them both in the same amount. I think where it's like Fury Road's is contained, go for it, holy shit. It's shot like the way it's shot aged a little bit in my watch through, I guess. And then Furiosa is like this modern, like punchier. Obviously, there's some more CGI in it, which you can kind of tell a little bit, but like it just felt more interesting and more cool. It just like grabbed me a little more, honestly. So,
They're almost two different films, but I mean, Furiosa. So I watched Fury Road the day that I watched Furiosa just because I wanted to like refresh because I remember liking Fury Road when I saw it in theaters. And then once it came out of theaters, I rewatched it and I was like, yeah, it's still a badass movie. But it never really like hit that, the 5-star threshold. But so I rewatched it and I was like, I get it. So it's definitely like
it
there
reached
I
it.
don't it did. I don't know. It's just like something about the simplicity of it, but at the same time, you know the characters' motives, what they're feeling, just with like the grunts and the eye contact that they're giving to each other.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's the marriage of the CGI and the practical throughout the whole film is just kind of crazy. Like the dust storm that
It
they go
is.
through, insane.
Yeah.
And then the action sequences are clearly insane. Those, I mean, there's books written about it. It's studied as like, how did George Miller do it? Like, a guy who was a fucking doctor was just like, I want to make movies one day, and he
Gets
creates
weird
these
with it.
things.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it definitely elevated up to that 5-star status. So then I watched Furiosa, and I was like, damn, that's fucking good. But is it as good as Fury Road? So then I rewatched Fury Road again when I got home,
Just to be sure.
just to be sure. And yeah, it's right neck and neck, but Fury Road still I think takes the cake of like this is what it this is the standard.
The
Furiosa
pinnacle.
almost gets there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I rewatched the old ones besides the first one. But
Mhm.
Road Warrior, it made me like respect just how much was practical in that movie. And
Yeah.
then similarly with Fury Road, you can make the same like argument of like, yeah, that might be like the last time somebody goes that balls to the wall in reality, and like
Yeah.
Furiosa feels like a little more packaged and a little more like Hollywood, I guess you'd say, where it's like maybe it's Anya Taylor Joy too, is like it just feels a little more like star studded, whereas the other ones had the stars, but it was like I guess people didn't have the expectation level that they did with this one or something. But
Right. Fury Road just kind of came out of nowhere, I think, for everybody when it like hit theaters. It was just kind of like,
oh
this
fuck,
is kind of awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't think
So
we thought George Miller was old and he was done, but holy shit, now he's got
he's
some more
younger than
going.
ever, baby.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Chris Hemsworth obviously great in the
Oh
movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
very good.
having a lot of fun. Didn't really feel like threatening, but I liked that character a
Crazy
lot.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked how like he had his little cape and you start in this like white, like angelic look of him with the people he's with, and then it gets like the red on it, the black on it, and like it slowly becomes like tainted, like the
Yeah.
wasteland. It's like just this degradation. And I mean, in Furiosa, like shit doesn't get better. It's just like
No,
this universe, like there's no happy ending in this unit. It
no
just like
hope,
keeps
baby.
going and like you're fucked. It's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that I really enjoyed about Furiosa, like we mentioned it or you mentioned it earlier, was that like it actually adds richness to this world. Like it gives good backstory, but it's not like one of those like it didn't feel out of place. Like, when Black Panther came out for me, it felt out of place to start a backstory with a character we've seen in two different movies, right? But with this one, it just felt like it added to the whole world of what Mad Max is, the wasteland,
Yeah.
because not only is it, I mean, clearly it's Furiosa's story, but within that story, you're getting more context of everything. Bullet Farm,
Right.
the fucking what Gas Town, everything is has
So
context and
good.
how it what their purposes are, the trading that happens, how people stay alive in the wasteland. I don't know
Yeah.
how it all works.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I actually like that too. I mean, I think like the second chapter is like them getting to the Citadel and like
mhm.
challenging the War Boys and whatever, and Morton Joe, and that was like my favorite parts of the movie. Honestly, it was like
Yeah,
seeing like the story we know collide with like this new story, and like
yeah,
the action sequences. I mean, I don't want to say like they got old, but like they're phenomenal. Like they're
oh
amazing
yeah,
actors. Like they're like I shouldn't be like even talking shit, but like I thought the movie got a little long, and like we did a couple of the tanker scenes where I was like, these movies are really tight and they got like a lot of like punch going for them. And I mean, this is the longest one, and to me, I kind of felt it a little bit towards the end.
yeah.
But like when the
No,
fifth chapter hit, I could feel the theater being like, how much is it? Like, how
yeah,
many chapters are in this? Like,
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean the runtime didn't really bother me. I get the argument with like, okay, we've seen what is this like the fourth tanker
yeah,
tanker fight sequences, but like I guess what makes it stand out, which each one of them stands out, is just like the different mechanics, I guess, that is happening during it. Like in Fury Road, you have the polecats, which they're just dropping bombs with their sticks. These you had like the people on motorcycles and they pull parachutes. Now they're flying and
yeah.
they
The
got
flying
these,
dudes
I
were
don't
sick.
know. It's just like all these different things, like I said, that were these machines and characters that were created in this world. and they feel like they belong, and it
Yeah.
works really well, and it gives it a different dynamic, even though it's the same from fucking all the way back to the Road Warrior with that tanker. You know,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
everything,
that's the
every
start of it.
tanker sequence is its own unique experience. So
Right.
I guess I really like that, and I liked how the tanker sequence, the second one we get is at the Bullet Farm,
Mhm.
and it was Bullet Farm, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But like it's him driving the tanker through Bullet Farm to try to get out while Anya Taylor-Joy is sniping all these
Mhm.
people, which another thing for George Miller, you always know where you stand in an action sequence. Like there's no confusion about
The geography of
where
it
the
all.
entrance, yeah, it's all perfectly staged. It's crazy that an 80-year-old man is capable of just making these like sequences that are so lively and so like engaging. I don't know.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it's some of the best like modern action.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just like respect somebody who is given the money that they're given and makes something like elevating the craft
Yeah.
or like just putting the work in because like you said like the action you feel every moment and you feel like the decisions and like the geography of it all and it like I don't know. Movies nowadays are like lazy and they're like you felt those punches and that was enough, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just not. You need to like get into the sequence, get out of the sequence in a meaningful way, and then have like the
Yeah.
middle meat ground where we feel it all, you know. And
Right. Definitely.
what's like the knockers at the end of the fucking tanker? What is the
Yeah.
word for it? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like paying off these like moments of action with this outlandish fucking tech, like you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think also for these movies, the highlight is like the universe for me. It's such a wild
Definitely.
fucking like, and
It's so
the
unique.
it's so yeah, 100%. And like the religious undertones in the universe are so cool
Hmm.
with like the historian guy who's basically just like whispering like fucking car jargon to them as if it's like this unspoken like a spoken word that you
Right.
have to like hear and then he's just like Webster's dictionarying words for Dementis as like
Yeah.
the
On the
law.
spot. Yeah.
It's just like so fucking weird and it just like is an extension of humanity but not anything we would ever think or know and
Yeah.
like
And
insane.
it's so interesting too. Like we've seen so many post-apocalyptic and apocalyptic or wasteland movies, but they all feel kind of, I don't know, cookie cutter is the right word, but like they feel the same. This one is like stands out as like this is only in George Miller's mind, and he is putting it on screen, and
Yeah.
I'll accept it. Like, okay, sure, in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, everyone turns to BDSM. Sweet,
Yeah.
I'm there for it.
It's about
You
how
freaks.
badass and weird do you look because that's how
Yeah,
you get the respect. You need to
right.
be playing with a nipple ring in a suit
Yeah,
with a fucking like dildo hanging out, and then
yep,
you'll get respect.
yep.
Just
And
so
that's how you
fucking
put it
crazy.
all out there.
Yeah. God, so weird, so wild. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about it, and I was gonna give it 4.5 to match Fury Road. I think it's a movie I'll rewatch, obviously, and it might age better in time too,
Mhm.
because I think the chapters actually worked for me a lot more than I
Yeah,
think most people might give it credit for. But I don't know. I like it. I like it, like the saga of it all, and it's. I think it's like top 5 for me right now of the year. Like I said, it passed Dune. It's one of the best experiences in the theater this year.
yeah.
Great time.
No, I mean, spoiler for my list, but it's number one right now for me. I mean,
Okay.
best theater experience. I mean, it's the one I want to go back to the most. Like Dune, when I got the tickets the second time, because the first time I watched it wasn't in IMAX. It's not that I dreaded it, but I wasn't like looking forward to being like, yeah, I'm going to go see Dune in IMAX again. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm like, I want to go to an IMAX experience and watch it, you know? But
Do it. I watched it in IMAX. It was definitely worth it for sure.
oh my God. Yeah, I wish there was nobody in this part of Texas where I live respects movies enough to be like, let's take it seriously, you know?
Yeah.
Let's at least put one IMAX screen out there.
Damn.
But
That
whatever.
sucks, man. Yeah, I definitely lucked out. I got one in 5 minutes from me, so I take advantage
Ah,
for sure.
that's yeah,
It's
lucky.
nice. It's a perk. All right, you want to run through your rankings on the Mad Max uh
Yeah.
franchise?
So um, it's fitting that we watched Straw Dogs, I think, last time we
Yeah.
talked, because I think that really falls in line with the Mad Max, the first original Mad Max.
Mm, I see that.
It just felt like the cackling and just like the bad guys were just like, let's push over this garbage can. We're fucking badass. And then
The
they laugh and
sniveling of
scurry off.
yeah.
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 So it felt kind of like that. So that was my number. That's not my number five. How many are there? Two. Four. It is my number five.
Five?
Yeah, that
Okay.
is my
Yeah.
number five. Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
was,
that's
honestly, I guess if we just go back and forth, the last place was the toughest spot for me to
yeah.
choose
I
in the
feel that.
rankings.
Yeah.
And I landed on Beyond Thunderdome for my five. It's not a bad movie. It's just not anything special. It does like a lot of the same stuff that Road Warrior does more
Hmm.
successfully, and it felt like I was watching Hook, like
Hmm.
Steven Spielberg's Hook with like the little fucking boys or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just checked out somewhere in there, and respect the old Mad Max, the original, in just different ways, I guess, more than Thunderdome. So
Yeah.
just made it five.
It
Original's number five though.
definitely. Yeah. It definitely feel like the original was like it's proof of concept. Like, look what I can do
Yeah,
with like 10 grand and a couple cases of beer, and they're like,
yeah,
okay, this is sick.
in a car that I bought
And
myself.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
so I definitely respect the grindhouse aspect of it. It just it was tough between these two because my fourth is Beyond Thunderdome because I expected this one to be my last just because it is like regarded as one of the worst, and it's George Miller only directs part of it because his producing partner died during it, so like
damn,
someone else stepped in to co-direct
R.I.P.
or whatever. And you kind of feel that because this is the only Mad Max with hope and like happiness and like kids
Yeah,
doing kids stuff.
almost like a
It's
Spielberg
PG
esque like
13.
ending too. It feels it's
Yeah,
like not Miller-ish, but yeah,
yeah,
I see that.
definitely. Which what it's a shame because the first half of this, like up to the Thunderdome part where they're fighting, is like this is awesome. Like I'm really enjoying myself. I was locked in, and then the kids happen, and I was just kind of like, okay, I'm on board.
Mm-hmm,
And the kids kept happening.
mm-hmm.
And then I kind of checked out when they were walking through the sand for a while. But when they got back to Bartertown, I was just like, okay, this is still pretty good. Like it's fun, it's whimsical. They're hitting people with pans, sure,
Yeah.
it's fine. But yeah,
I think
I don't
maybe I
know.
was just like mad maxed out a little bit watching them in the row because like by Thunderdome I was like I just don't. It's
Yeah,
not as good. I just like didn't really care.
I understand. Definitely.
Yeah. Also, the original too. It's kind of cool if you like look at them in order now that like it's like the very earliest story of like the society falling apart,
Yeah,
and you barely get like none of the apocalypse shit. But then you get to Road Warrior, and it's just like, what the fuck happened to this
yeah,
world? Like
right. How much
it's
time has
yeah,
passed?
it's kind of like a vestige of like an older apocalypse Mad
Yeah.
Max. So it's a little
What
bit more interesting, but
what I guess I can also appreciate about the original Mad Max is it kind of like gives you that insight into Max and kind of you understand like in
yeah.
Road Warrior and Thunderdome and even in Fury Road with this different Max. Obviously, it's like a reboot, but like you understand why deep down he feels like he has to do the right thing, because he
Mm-hmm.
was at one point a lawman, he was a family man, he had,
Had
morals. He just,
feelings.
yeah,
He was
the
eating
world
normal
chewed him up
food.
and spit him out, and
Yeah,
so that's how he turned into,
that's fair.
yeah.
So I
But
assume. Well, actually, I don't know. What's your number three?
that would be Road Warrior.
Okay, we probably have the
Yeah,
same list from here on out,
yeah,
honestly, because mine's Road Warrior too. I was back and forth on if I wanted to put Furiosa here, but maybe I'm just like I'm a modern boy. But
yeah.
the way that he's done the last two are just way more dynamic and way more like
Hmm.
intense
Yeah,
and gripping than Road Warrior.
definitely.
But
They had a lot more richness to the world. Like Fury Road, not as much. Like the action, obviously, is the what you take away from Fury Road, but like Furiosa is just I don't know. It's on a
yeah,
different level.
it's an extension of Fury Road, which is a great thing to say. Like it's
Yeah,
like
obviously.
continuing all the same like power and energy, and it's got its own story and its own like world building. And Road Warrior, I want to give it the credit it deserves. Like it does have the first like road tanker sequence that is like
Yeah,
when you watch it, you're like, oh shit, that's Fury Road, like.
yeah,
So it's the closest you could do to Fury Road in the 80s or whatever, So
definitely.
he did it. He did the thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of standard. The first hours, it's just like boring, and it's not. It's old. It's old,
yeah,
but it's good. It's still good.
yeah, yeah. I agree. That's another thing about the original that I felt it really dragged into like the last 30 minutes when
Oh
Mad
yeah,
Max finally his family finally dies. Thank you for dying for the cause. Now
please,
we have
yeah,
some action.
yeah. No,
So
it's pretty. It's hard to watch that one too. I'd say at
yeah,
times. Yeah, but I mean, Fury Road #1, right? You
yeah,
just can't stop it.
yeah,
I wish I could maybe just on more watches, because like I listened to some people talk about Fury Road, and it's like this seminal movie of like the 2000s, and I'm like, I can see it, but it's like I don't feel it. I don't. I wish I could
yeah.
feel it, but I love
I'm
it still.
definitely I'm interested because the big picture they did their rankings with Chris and Sean and get the other girl that's on there, Mallory. I'm gonna listen to that now. I didn't want it to affect my opinion on them, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna listen and see what they have to say.
for
But
sure.
yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see that a lot of people. It's like Furiosa is one of those, or at least so far it seems. It's like you love it or you hate it. And the big takeaway that I've seen people not liking is like, why is it called a Mad Max saga? I'm like, okay, you fucking
There,
losers. Listen,
those people are the reason why he had to put the Fury Road clips into the end of the fucking movie,
yeah,
which I did not
exactly.
like, but like it's because of those fucking people that are like, wait, what? Why is this?
Yeah.
Where does this
Where's
play?
Max in this Mad Max saga?
Yeah,
First off, Fury Road is basically a Furiosa movie. Let's be
yeah,
fucking
hundred
honest.
percent. Max is barely
Also,
like doing shit.
Furiosa was written and given to the actors to read before Fury Road. Like,
Hmm.
this was their backstory. I'm pretty sure he wrote a backstory on Max and Furiosa for them to read before they even started Fury Road. So
Hmm.
this was born before all that.
Yeah, it's
So
all in
please,
Miller's head, so it's always been
yeah, please don't
there.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame that they're like, "Oh, it's not got Mad Max in it," but it doesn't have to.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but all these Mad Max, even the original, is like there's no real continuity. It's just like
No,
here's a
it's pretty
clip that's
scattered.
happening in the wasteland with
Yeah.
Max.
And they
You know?
even give you like a little that one Mad Max little image, him
Yeah,
standing on the
they do.
cliff with the car, and I'm pretty sure he
Yep.
took Furiosa back to the Citadel.
It seems
That's what I
like they
got
wanted
from
to
that,
say
but
something there. Yeah,
yeah. And she gets brought into that fucking maggot
the
place,
maggot
dude. That
hole.
shit was insane. Oh my
Yeah.
god. That was nuts. But yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, it was a great movie.
It
I
was
don't really have much else to
definitely.
say. Unfortunately, I wish it would do a little bit better at the box office, but
Yeah,
it's
I
a
don't
hard
think we're
one
gonna see
to
another Mad Max
get.
movie now.
Yeah, I went with Emily, and I think she had a good time, but I could feel like the weirdness and the specificity of that universe. Like, I don't think she understood what the fuck happened at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
she understands that what that movie was, and like I kind of get that to like a general audience sense, but if you're a fan, even on a I'm not even like a deep fan, like I'm a pretty surface level fan for Mad Max, and
yeah,
I loved it. So like you got to be a
yeah.
fan of it kind of already, but
I mean, before Fury Road, I just remember watching. I mean, I've watched them all back when I was young because my dad watched them all the time. But the only one I really remembered was Beyond Thunderdome, just because I feel like that one has the most energy out of all of them. It stands out definitely out of all the old ones. But then obviously when Fury Road came out, that was like a whole new level of like this is this is Mad Max, for
oh
me.
yeah, for
So,
sure,
you
for
know.
sure. Yeah.
It's kinda like the War Boys, he was kinda, like, trying to get there with the one boy who, was in Thunderdome, where he had the black eyes and white makeup on.
Hmm.
So it's like, he wanted something like this, so he
Got a
just
little
took that
naive.
image and,
Yeah.
yeah, created the War Boys, but
Yeah. I heard that he does have you had another idea for another one. I guess maybe we'll get it in a book form or some shit someday, Just hear what
if he
happens.
makes another one, a Max movie with Tom Hardy, I would accept that and be done,
Go. Yeah.
but I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, what's the next movie? I mean, probably see Kinds of Kindness. I don't
yeah.
know if that's going to be a big talker movie, but
I'm gonna go see this Friday, In a Violent Nature.
hmm, I haven't even heard
That's
mentioned.
the one for the perspective of the Jason Voorhees-esque character, where it's
Oh,
all his POV
huh,
instead of yeah. So
that's
I don't know. It
interesting.
seems pretty artsy slasher film. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know how it is. I might check it out.
yeah,
I guess the bike
but
riders too. Oh, and Hitman. I'm gonna go. Maybe I'll try to see Hitman.
yeah, that's not playing anywhere by me. I'm pretty upset about that. So I'm gonna have to watch it on fucking Netflix.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I just
At
watched
least I get
Everybody
to watch
Wants
it. So
Some for the first time, and then
yeah.
rewatched Days and Confused and gave it 5 stars finally. But it just had to be done. I don't know, man. There's a magic in that movie that is undeniable. You can't really explain it sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's just there. Uh, but he's Linklater's got Hitman. I hear some good things about it, so I'm pretty excited for it now.
Yeah, I've heard good things as well. So definitely looking forward to it.
Cool. Well, anything else you want to talk about, or should we sign off?
Trying to think that there was something else. Oh, I saw you didn't like Yuma County. What's up with that?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Let me
fine.
in. Let me in on the secret here.
Yeah, I give it 2.5 because, like, to me, it's like the standard. Like, it did what it was setting out to
Mhm.
do, which was like don't care about any of the characters, don't like logically pay off the story in any way. I mean, it's like it makes sense, I guess, logically, but like to me, the beats where you're the build up, which is nice, of like, oh shit, there's people in this diner that are gonna hurt me or whatever,
Mhm.
and then more people come in, and then all the action is done in like a minute, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, that's a cool idea to do, but then like it doesn't help the movie in any way continue like what it was doing because then you bring in like the people that are there and then they have to hold the baby and then they get shot or something. It's just like
Yeah.
basically it's like what's the worst thing that could happen in the situation right now and then it happens. And that's
Yeah.
fine and that's like how you write stuff. Some people theorize like but when you push it to this extreme it shows you why you don't do it because you need to like get characters into the next scene to then like
Mhm.
make a compelling journey. And like I didn't
Yeah.
give a shit about any of the characters and like the main dude I didn't care about him in ways I thought I should care about. I don't know. It was just like, and I was thinking this too when I was watching it. Like, I don't think like like emulating Tarantino is gonna be successful. I
Not for
just
anybody, no.
like
Yeah.
what makes Tarantino good is that he's emulating other genres and forms that are ingrained that he's
Mhm.
like elevating. But then when you're like secondary now to like I'm gonna do Tarantino, it like is already removed a layer of like it's like to me the homages to Tarantino don't work in any way a lot of the time. Like I
Yeah.
just I don't know what it is.
The difference is like Tarantino, he takes genres and he like hyper extends them or makes them like he just blows them out of proportion, but he makes them his own. He just takes the genres, takes these tropes, and he
Mhm.
creates it his own.
Yeah.
But then when someone sees that in a Tarantino, they just see, oh, that's a Tarantino movie, and they try to rip it off completely. Like that was clearly it was Hateful Eight in the diner,
Yeah,
right?
and like
So
there even like the music, the intro, title cards. I was like, man, this person likes Tarantino. There was like feet shots and like to me, I'm like, I don't. I don't mind like when people homage stuff, so I'm curious why I took to offense to this one specifically, but it's like I don't think you should be striving to write a Tarantino movie. And I want to write a Tarantino movie, but like I will never do it. And
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like I feel like that's reaching for something that's not real almost because like he's doing something that's already doing something else. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird thing I was trying to like rationalize, but
No, I understand the gripes. I do. I respected some of the boldness of it, and just it felt like a fun 90-minute ride for me. So I enjoyed it.
it was nice and quick. I mean, the shots were nice. Like the colors were nice too. I liked that.
Yeah.
The one like setting that was successfully done. I just think I'm not a one setting movie kind of guy, which is just because I like budget and I like to feel
Yeah.
it. But
I love
that's fine.
one-setting movies too, so maybe I'm just a little biased with that as well. I just the only things like you mentioned, everybody dies instantly, and then like the stakes are kind of gone in a way when they did that. Like they didn't keep any of like the bank robbers. If they would have kept one of them alive, I think it would
Right,
have been more successful. Or I don't know,
right.
just something. It needed
Or
something else
the
besides the police showing up. You know?
right, or the two. Like I liked the line because I was looking for it or whatever, where it was like we're Kit and I forget
Yeah.
the other name, but those two show up and they're dead in the same gunfight, and it's
Yeah.
like, what? Why did
It's,
we
it,
follow them? I don't
That's
know.
another thing where I expected more from those two, especially like when the man dies. Okay, fine. So what's the girl gonna do? But then she gets stabbed. I was like, oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
what she's
and
gonna do.
like
She's gonna die.
it really hinges on the main character because like at the end of it, he's escaping with the money, even though he had no
Yeah,
plans to escape with the money, which is like a fun idea. But I'd never felt any like turns with that character. I guess like when he kills the girl on accident or whatever, it like makes him make decisions now to like do things. But
but
maybe I
what
need more.
got me about his character and made him a little bit more of a dynamic than the rest was like he mentioned that he had a family and he had a kid named Sarah. But like
Mm-hmm.
when she asked him to spell it, he was just kind of like, "Oh yeah, it's with an H or whatever." But then, like when she reminds him about the pie, it's almost like, "Oh, he forgot he had a kid." So it makes you think:
Mm-hmm.
Does he actually have a kid? Is he being honest about
Right. It
the knife
plays that,
sales?
but then you
Yeah,
never really feel any of like the
yeah,
nefariousness underneath, and it's like maybe I needed it to be a little more on the nose of like, oh, maybe he kind of was this
yeah.
outlaw or something,
Right.
or not, which it seems like he might
Yeah.
not have been, but I don't know.
It kind of alludes to it when he just leaves the baby too, where he just kind of makes that decision in the moment, like, okay, I don't really care, and just takes
Mm,
off.
yeah,
So I don't
that's
know.
true.
I could be
Yeah,
giving it more credit just
that's
because
fair.
I was enjoying like the moment of it while I
I
was
think
watching it.
also it's like it's gonna be a different movie on the day. Maybe I'll just enjoy the situations more at a different
Yeah.
time, but it was fine. What else did I watch? Oh, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Someone saw that. Liked it a
I need
lot
to see
actually.
it. Yeah.
I
So
think I
it's
just
good?
like Planet of the Apes. I like that franchise a lot. I watched the old ones. They're not that great, but like they're fine and they're kind of got some fun ideas.
Definitely.
And the new one takes some turns and it takes like some story jumps that you have to get on board for. But if you are, which I was, I like it, and the universe is cool. And
Yeah.
I'm just there for a well thought out sci-fi universe. Like same with Furiosa. I'm just give me some fresh shit. Give me some good feeling
Yeah.
CGI. I'm fucking there. So
I also I forget I watched Challengers.
I liked it. Hey, nice.
It was
What you
pretty
get?
good.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was it was pretty good. I mean, I liked the score really stood out. Just the fucking house trap music that plays and you're just like,
Atticus
this is
Ross, man.
acceptable. And obviously creating tennis as like this giant fucking orgy throughout the whole movie where like you even get down to where she screams come on, that's the climax of it all. I don't know, that worked for me, the whole like metaphor of it all.
Yeah, like
um
the battle that they're having on the court
yeah,
in their life. Yeah,
it was a bit predictable throughout, which is like its only downfall, I think. But
yeah,
overall it was fun. It was definitely a good experience, the best Zendaya has been, the most dynamic she's been. um
nice.
yeah. action shots were dope, like the tennis
Yeah.
shots.
The
Yeah,
way he kept it fresh in the tennis was like a huge highlight for me. Of like, he used like every shot you could think of,
yeah,
and it didn't really like reuse shots and stuff. So it was definitely worked for me. And that build up towards the end, like to me, it's all about like them getting together at the end, and Zendaya's kind of like the wrench in
yeah.
both their lives or whatever.
She was definitely the homewrecker, which she
Yeah.
didn't have to say because she already mentioned she doesn't want to be a homewrecker, but she clearly is by the end of it. And like her saying it was just kind of like, no, don't, you don't have to say it. We understand.
Mhm.
We're smart.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
I was actually I was the only moment that made me like kind of roll my eyes was towards the end. It's like storming out or whatever, the storm's building or whatever, and then he like she spits on his face, which I was like, "Damn!"
yeah,
I thought that was gonna be
yeah.
the end of it, and then they bang after that, and I was like,
Why'd she spit on him? Is he into
yeah,
it?
I was
I
just
don't know.
like,
Yeah,
dude, I was like, don't fucking, because at first I was like, they're just gonna fuck right now, they're gonna make out and then start it up,
yeah,
and she spits on him. I was like, ooh, like that took a huge turn for me, but then it just
yeah.
does what I thought they were gonna do.
I
I was just like,
I agree. I thought they were just gonna go straight into banging, but then when she spits on him, I'm like, oh shit.
yeah,
And in my opinion, his character wouldn't have taken that shit. But for some reason, at that moment, he was just
kinky
like,
man,
eh,
he's into it. Yeah.
I
But
guess.
I guess it like
Yeah.
it works though, because then you get the moment in the finale match where he like puts the ball at the
I
racket.
definitely,
And it's
when
like,
they banged, I'm like, this is how he's gonna tell him. He's gonna do his little racket thing where
I
they
didn't even
did
see it
prior.
coming until it was like happening, but Emily called it. She
Okay.
said she saw it
Yeah.
coming too, so makes sense. It works like that. So like the moment I rolled my eyes on it, worked later in the scripts. I was like, it's
Yeah.
fine, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah. No,
I had a
I
great
get
time.
it. I need to
Yeah,
watch more of Luca's movies. I don't think I've seen any of his others.
same. I hope they're as good as that one for me. I guess we'll see. But
It's actually my movie chess pick. Not next time, but the time after that, I think I'm gonna do A Bigger Splash, which is his
is that
one of
his?
his
Okay,
movies.
cool,
So
nice.
it's one of the ones I've heard the best things about. So
Yeah, the one I keep hearing is "Call Me by Your Name." Call Me by My Name.
yeah,
I don't know. That one I hear a lot
yeah,
of good stuff about, even though that would be probably an awkward one to talk about. But
yeah.
yeah.
Suspiria. He remade Suspiria.
Oh
I didn't know
yeah, I
that was
forgot
his.
about that.
Oh shit.
Also, I
Hmm.
rewatched Ocean's 11, and I
Oh
think that
yeah.
might be the movie I've watched the most. I was thinking about it. I was like, you should. When was the last time you watched Ocean's 11?
Me?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's been like 6 years probably. I watched them all. I just was like, I'm gonna knock these out.
Okay. Take a gander at Ocean's 11 whenever you have like a time and you're like feeling like, you know what,
Okay.
I'll give it, because like that's my shit. That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies, and I feel like it would
Really
be on.
enjoying it. But if
Yeah,
I remember correctly, I think I liked 13 the best. I can't
I like
remember.
13 a lot too, but
Yeah.
man,
I
that
need to
first one
rewatch them
kicks.
just because I
Just,
mean they're all Soderbergh, right? Too. Yeah. So I need to rewatch them just to get. I feel like I was too young and naive, so
I'm just
maybe I'll
curious
appreciate them
if
more.
your perspective would shift, because god damn, dude, it's just like a bunch of dudes being cool and being smart and suave, and it's like,
Fuck yeah.
it's like that's the shit, man. But yeah, I
Uh,
was just curious if you wanted to take another look, because I think you had like 3 stars. What is it?
I
And
think
that's
I
just an abomination. I just can't stand it. I just can't let that stand. You know,
let
like
me see. Let me see. Is it streaming on anything?
Hulu. Yes, Hulu.
Because if I can justify watching it, it would be because Sarah has not seen them. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars.
It's
Again,
just
I watched it a while
it's
ago,
just as
so
cannot stand.
cut me some slack. Let me see what I gave
Yeah.
13. I gave 12 more stars. Does that hurt you even more?
I mean, that's just outlandish. But I understand trying to be like a hipster about it, or trying to be fucking, well,
Oh my
12 is the
god,
best one. But it's not
I have that
real.
as my highest rated one, so
Yeah.
I think I need to rewatch
Yeah.
them. You're right.
We need a perspective shift here, but nah, but I don't know. Yeah, just give him a watch if you have some time. It's
You
such a
know
good
what?
movie,
I
and
will.
I watch
By
it
the
like
next
every two
time
months. I
we
feel like.
we stream next week, and I'll have them all rewatched.
Ah, okay. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, my word.
Let me know what you think. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll just rewatch them again too.
Might as well.
Yeah. It's just so fucking easy to watch.
All right.
All right. Well, it's good talking, man. I'll talk to you next week then.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Later.